Hello YouTube! That's my very first video and I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite nervous. I'm not a native speaker, as you may hear, and running a YouTube channel itself isn't an easy task, but if you want to teach people in foreign language, what a beautiful combo, right? Anyways, I'll try my best, and my name is Dima Naboka, and I am tattooing. I've been tattooing for over 15 years, and I want to share my experience right here in this channel for free, just a channel with the free tutorials, step-by-step explanations and everything. And I hope you may implement my tips and tricks into your approach and make your tattoos better. And without further delay, let's get started. I don't do outlines in the first place anymore. I mean, I used to, and I kind of understand it's helpful because you can fix your entire stencil and never care about getting a mess or stacking a new piece of a stencil if you have a long break after the first session and so on. But technically it's kind of bad because having outline in the very end of your project, when all the colors are done, all the pieces are here, covering all the things with lines on top, is actually getting you a better result. And I want to explain why, because as I see, majority do not care about this thing. Like, frankly, 99% of artists I see around, they just work the same way. They just place stencil, outlines all the things with black or any color, usually black, right? So, and then they continue, and that's actually bad. And I want to explain that. But anyways, after you place your stencil, you need to fix a picture somehow. And my choice is gray wash lines. Just, it's better to be called scratches, not lines. Like here in this picture, by today's job, we have already filled outlines. Again, not lines, scratches, temporary scratches, thin and gray scratches made of, well, I believe it's Real made with gray wash, either white or medium tone something. I simply scratch it on the very top of the surface, just never do like deep pierce, trying to get it as light as possible. And yeah, it's gonna be colored anyway, because like here with the green and red color, all the edges here had these gray outlines. Now it's gone. You may see it right here. The green color simply ate this gray tone and it's not visible. So that works like a temporary thing. And all over the shape here, all the way around this head and shoulder and everything of this gentleman, it's gonna be like outline, simply black, which covers anything you want. But as I said, at the very final day of this project. So today I need to surround all the pieces with other colors like red, which is actually important because majority of people do not line things with color. They simply shade it, and if they see just anything is not perfect, they take an RS needle or round liner, just fix a tiny spot if it's not perfect and like, okay, good enough. No, it's not. Actually, the best way to get a perfect edge matching, like if I need to match this green with red, the best way just to have two lines right next to each other. Like here I have red right now, and I'm gonna be shading red with all the way inside here all over this piece, but previous session I had green done exactly the same way. So this green piece had a green line at the first place, here, and then I filled all the thing inside between them with green. And this moment here, oh, there to switch it off. So that moment here, where you stuck red with green, is going to be perfect. And there is no way to blur or like migrate for pigment, at least not as much as with the usual type, because usually people just, you know, they switch for a smaller magnum, which kind of fine, but in my opinion, not perfect, because you need to, I don't know, yeah, let's go for that spot here. You need to paint like that and make something like, I don't know, like edge, red edge made of magnum, which is looking kind of okay-ish, but I know that lining is different because when you use round liner, it delivers the pigment in a different way. It packs so densely, it's just different technique. You don't see difference right now, right here and here, just red and green, all the same, but technically this is gonna be aging way better. After years, you will see a huge difference because this perfect perfect edge here will be gone. It's gonna be blurry, it's gonna be not as straight and perfect as now, and this one will hold way longer. And the very best part of having these color outlines all around the picture is, it makes me calm. Frankly, it feels much better if I don't need to aim to every single corner, every single edge, and try to aim it with Magnum, because having tiny Magnum and try always to follow the line, follow the color that you already have is annoying. To me, it's just not mine at all. If I already made these pink lines here, then I just simply take a shader or any or something, and I just shade. There is nothing else, just shading. You see, just quickly. I don't even aim that much, because I know I can touch my previous lines. Pink on top of the pink lines gives you pink. There is no place to get a mistake. So it's easier. I don't know. You receive quality, you receive result that will never change. You are saving your time at some point, even if it takes some extra time to place all the lines first. Then you can rush it with shading and get the same amount of time spent overall. And by the way, guys, the head of this character is almost done, and I want you to take a guess. Do you know what this character is? Who this character is? I can give you a small hint, actually. Here is one of the characters from the same universe. Okay, just make it worse. Try to clean it up and just make it worse. So you may know this guy, you may recognize this guy a bit easier because he is much more popular. And one more hint, this body is from Marvel Universe, right? It is. David has even 2 sleeves made about Marvel, right? We have overall 8 characters. We're gonna have 8 characters. So right now we have Vision, which is over there. I'm taking all the colors from this guy and place all the green from head, red from face, and just trying to match the placement of the colors here with this robot, because originally this guy is a robot, and here I made it a bit more like Japanese anime style character, which has all the same color scheme, has the same vibe at some point. I just like it a bit more robotic, rather having it's more like humanoid again, like there, because I didn't even know though that he is a robot. When you came first time, that was a surprise that this guy is a robot. I've seen him many times in the movies, but I never know he's a robot. And this is Iron Man. Obviously, you may recognize it from his mask. It's gonna be much more recognizable once this guy receives all the colors, because golden and red makes him just immediately recognizable as Iron Man. And there, no, let's keep it a secret, okay? Not yet, bro, not yet. A bit later. Quick note, guys, as you know, that's the very first video, and obviously that's the very beginning of a channel in general. So now anything we do is extremely important. I need to prove to platform, to YouTube, that this sort of content deserves more attention, bigger audience than anything. So whenever you provide any sort of your activity, comments, likes, or just whatever, subscription is a perfect thing. I would appreciate that. Helps, and it changes the future of this channel. So I need your support. Let's be, you can be the very first subscribers on this channel. You build the history, actually. So yeah, subscription button is down there below. I need you guys. Here, but before you see this, it's not finished. I just want to introduce the main shape and everything, because details are in progress. So overall, I wanted him to be like Ronin. Something with this straw hat.
My idea was I still would like to have a Marvel arm, but I would like to have it in a kind of neo-traditional Japanese way. So not to have Marvel characters, but to have Japanese characters and signs.
Dance those characters, but at the same moment it's like ninjas, samurais, and everything.
Exactly, like having traditional Japanese pictures, but to have them 20% or 25% remembering becoming a Marvel character.
We had 2 sessions in a row and 3 characters done already. Vision, which is fully colored, it's just supposed to have outlining later on, not now. Iron Man
And even though Iron Man looks pretty finished, it's fully filled with colors, but it's not even close to be done because I need to apply a second layer of textures on top of his armor and outlining again, but not today again, and gonna be done later, of course. And the third one is the main problem of the entire design. Wanda, Scarlet Witch, was just a pure disaster. Okay, look at that. Here is a blue sphere, and if you put red spots on top of this blue sphere, and then we add spiderweb on top of those red spots, you can easily recognize, okay, that sphere, even without any limbs, face, or just any human parts, you see, that's a thing that represents Spidey. All clear. Okay, if you do the same thing but with black and golden plus claws, Wolverine, all easy, right? But what the hell is that? Scarlet Witch is a problem because she made of red only. Her dress, her lips, the magic she creates, it just shines red. Her accessories all over her body, it's all red. She made of red, and it's a problem to represent her in a different character, because making just someone red is not making this character Scarlet Witch, you know? And her diadem with horns, with pointy horns, is not making that much of a difference. And I came to a conclusion that I just need to calm down, and the best hint that this girl from Marvel Universe is all the guys around her, because if you see a Wolverine, if you see Doctor Strange, or the guy will have Daredevil and Spidey right next to her, obviously she's from the same universe. And of course, if she's red, then people may recognize, all right, should be Scarlet. And in this case, red actually works, but the same moment, red works against us, because having one solid red spot on your arm is a very, very bad idea. Whenever you see a picture on your smartphone or paper print or just anything, that's okay, you can do anything you want. All details are red, fine. But if you are working on skin, it's a different case. Your skin is never as stable and close as I don't know, smartphone, iPad, computer, just anything, any sort of screens. You always move your arm, you bend it, you twist it, you are getting closer, you are gaining a distance. So it's better to be for this picture as more contrast as possible. And I'm not only talking of having a dark and light contrast, I'm talking of temperature contrast. If you have some red spots, I would immediately add some, I don't know, either golden or some cool tones or something, just to create additional contrast at this object. In our case, it's a character. And I cannot do that. I cannot use any other colors because she's made fully of just red colors, and that was a problem. So, and after all, I decided, okay, I'll just take all the tones of red I have there in my wagon, and I'll just create different textures. I will separate the materials and the objects on her body, not with tone, but with texture. That's why I created many layers of her kimono with leaves, petals, flowers, and everything, with different ornaments, lines, and things that can easily help your eye to, you know, to divide the thing. You can easily see, all right, there is a piece of fabric stopped, and that's a piece of new fabric. This is her hair, this is the thing, this is not. But I couldn't hold myself and just keep everything red. I gave up and I had some golden colors. Yeah, sorry, my bad at some point, but I think it looks better. Frankly, I think that makes the picture better, because having all red would be a tricky and controversial option in my opinion. So don't blame me, I believe that's a good decision, and that's the result though. Okay, check this. An apple, okay, just let's imagine it's a stencil you're supposed to make on a skin. So the very first, like logically, you may need to follow all the lines with black solid outline, just like that, and then shade the colors, which is okay. I think we all do that, or used to do that. You fill out it with red, like a red apple. This time it's not a stencil. Let's imagine that's a background. So it's kind of a red apple surrounded by blue background all around this piece, okay? And quite common. There is nothing special so far, but let's take a look closer right here. If you zoom that thing here and you see that the black outline here should be connected to both colors, red and blue, from both sides as good as possible. Here the blue color, you may take a magnum. Obviously you can take a magnum, shade this thing, but as closer you go to the line here, this black thing, as closer you are getting to idea to switch a needle, I believe, because you're gonna get it either a smaller magnum or maybe a liner or RS needle or something. So you shade this thing in a perfect world as close as just possible, just all the way along this thing, just really close. And you know, you better not to keep any distance, because if you do it that way, you shade it and you keep that distance here with the blank skin right there. Looking bad, okay? But it's not the main thing. You give a space for ink to migrate. You may not even notice this thing at right after a session, because it's not that visible. Sometimes the distance of blank skin between outline and the color is so tiny that you don't even see that, because you cannot zoom a skin. It's not an iPad or something. You can just simply think that's a good thing. But after a year, this space will be taken with the blue and black. Both colors will migrate a bit and fill this area. It's bad. I mean, your outlines are just getting blurred. It's not as, you know, sharp and perfect and as black as fresh, but you can keep it better if you do a bit different. I'll just say later, just a bit later, I will explain how it works. Same here with the red. You have to do the same thing again, and you have to waste your time with aiming as perfect as possible here, just not to touch, because if you touch again this black outline, and the same thing visually, and at the first look, it's kind of okay. You cannot cover, or I don't know, you cannot cover black thing with red. Nothing beats solid black outline. There is nothing that can cover it, especially if it's fresh. There is no way to take magnum, work with red, and just I don't know, eat a piece of black with red. No, it's gonna be always solid. Always solid black outline, which is looking the same whole day, tomorrow, after tomorrow, next week. But next year you may find this part a bit blurred, like everything is mixed together and line is not as good as at the very first day or at the very first month. Also bad, you're just overworking this spot. You are harming again. When you damage the spot again, you're just overworking the spot, and it leads to worse healing, worse condition, and just not good at all. What I suggest is switch the sequence of actions, which is easy. You don't need to be a super professional guy. Just have to make the same things, but just in a different sequence. Again, if you have an apple here, one more, and you're supposed to start working on this, let's say it's a stencil, you don't make an outline all around this shape. You do just a tiny scratch. I'll just represent this scratch. Why it's not working with something like that. Usually it's not like this. You just take a 3-round liner or something very thin and gray wash and just fix the stencil, just to keep a picture on skin, because it's bad if you do mass. If you don't see a picture, you better to fix it. Okay, that works. Next thing, I take the color and fill it with again with red and then with blue, blah blah blah, just like that, you know, and I give it some time. And here is the main thing you need to keep in mind, because if there is a single session job you need to finish by this evening, there is no way to wait until it's healed, because you cannot apply a black line on top of fresh things. You will just over damage the things. For sure, you need to wait at least a month, better 2 or 1.5 or something like that. I always give my customers time after I filled the whole piece. Is it a sleeve or back, a full leg or something? I just fill all the colors, do all the shapes of the characters, the background and everything, and then I wait a month minimum. And after this period, we apply the second layer with patterns, textures, or all outlines I need, because in that case it works different. If we zoom it again, you have red, which you were just doing kind of randomly without any precision even. You don't need a great sharp edge right here. You can do just any way you want. So I mean, this edge is not perfect here for demonstration. The same with blue, sometimes it keeps a gap here. For example, sometimes I overlap here, just cover the red again with blue, then a distance again right here, and just fill with magnum my blue piece right there. So looks bad, but it's a temporary condition which takes a month to be healed, and then you solve all these problems. You do the same line right here on top of all your problems, all of your bad connection things with empty spots, overlaid spots, or everything. You just make the solid black outline which covers everything forever. There is nothing better than this connection. When you have this black on top of existing blue that was placed there previously, this connection right here is as perfect technically as just possible. It will be aged very well, and the thing is that there is no distance, no space for migration, because blue is covered. Even if it tries to migrate, it lays under the black, and black has no way to migrate that much. They can mix on the very edges of those colors, they can mix a bit, but it's much better rather having a tiny distance that gives a space to migrate for both colors. And here, that's the way how to keep your outlines up for years. Way better rather having them done in the very first place in the beginning, and that's what I do every time. Okay, final conclusion. If you are working on a big project, save the outlining for the very end. It's a simple change, but it can add plus 15 to your accuracy. If it's a single session project, outlining in the beginning is necessary. However, keep in mind that you need to make color outline alongside the black ones, and that's gonna give you plus 10 to your accuracy, which is not better than the first option, but still very good bonus. And also, it helps to tattoo age better. That's it. That was my very first episode. Let me know what you think, guys. And, last thing, this channel has a great chance to gain more experience and improve my English. I need to gain more speaking experience, and whenever you hear I'm doing any mistakes, especially if I do constantly the same mistake, don't hesitate and put your comment there in comment section below. Just point out all the mistakes I'm doing. That helps a lot. I swear that's the thing I need. Yep, that's pretty much it. Ciao.
Baba Boo.